And oh, it's so funny. Hello, everyone. This is Ralph Ann, the confidence coach, helping women show up in their business with a brand image that radiates from the inside out. And I am really excited and delighted today for our 15 minutes of fame. We are joined with the lovely Miss Grace Ann Blake out of Shreveport, Louisiana.
Hello.
Awesome. Remember, our 15 minutes of fame is where we take everyday female entrepreneurs that are doing extraordinary things in their business and their life. And we have the pleasure of meeting Grace Ann today. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you, Ralph Ann?
I'm doing great, and you look
Awesome.
amazing. I was checking out your hair when we were what we call the green room, and
Thank you.
it always looks so good. I'm a hair, I love looking at hair, even though a lot of people know, because I'm a local personality, hair sometimes is hair in a bag. People love to know that we have wigs that sometimes, some days I have my wig on, which is fun. But
Love it. That's it's fabulous. Nothing wrong with being fabulous. I
I love it.
very
So
much
tell us.
when we met, we connected right away. I mean, we get that about being women, that it's okay to feel fabulous and to feel beautiful. There are many ways to make that happen, and one is through hair and makeup.
Awesome. Yeah. So with that said, tell us more about I know about your business and I know about so I'm just gonna tell everybody first off that Grace Ann and I met and I call her Gracie. If it rolls off just
Love it.
I have a nickname and it just from day one she became Gracie to me. So we met at the Divine Direction
Hmm.
event in New York
Hmm.
with Danelle Delgado and Gina DeVee.
Yes.
And I have reached out to a few of the ladies, and Grace Ann was one of the extraordinary entrepreneurs that I met. So I'm going to say, when you introduce yourself, we're all introducing ourselves. Grace Ann says, "Hey, I'm a hairstylist, y'all." She is so much more than a hairstylist. You're like, hairstylist point 10, point oh.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
yeah, so tell us more about that's a little bit of what you do,
Yeah.
but you do so much more.
So, Ralph Ann, I've been a hairstylist for 31 years this year. I've owned my company, Avalon Hair Salon, for 23. And I absolutely love what I do. And that is I grow other hairstylists within my company. And so I'm a hairstylist, makeup woman, but I own a company that very early on I recognized that I needed to help other hairstylists make a wonderful living. And so that's what I
Mhm.
do is I own a hair salon in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we do fabulous hair and makeup. And I grow other hairstylists.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love I love the fact that you're a mentor. Um, and I think that was just one of the things, obviously, because we're both been in our careers about the same
Mhm.
time, about
Mhm.
30 years, 30 plus for you, and just 30 this year for me. And I think you do feel like you get to a point where you owe it to yourself and
Mhm.
to your brand and your career to kind
Mhm.
of pass that on.
Right.
So tell me now a little bit more, and for the aspiring entrepreneurs and existing entrepreneurs, we're interested. So what made you want to become I know why some of your story of why you became an entrepreneur, but if you'd share what
Yeah.
excited you about that.
So I think that there are two types of people, and one is you're an entrepreneur, and another is a person that wants to understand what that means.
Mhm.
And for me, I was in the third grade and I was already trying to sell everything in my closet. I am a natural business person and I love to work. And so I always say, do what you love and do it all the time.
Mhm.
And for me, I absolutely fell in love with the aesthetics of people. Since memory, I wanted to touch hair, like your hair right now. I want to come through the screen and I want to play in it, right? And I wanted all about it. And so there's just this natural side with the beauty that just my whole life I've been intrigued. I was
Mhm.
not taught to be a hairstylist. I was taught to go to school. I'm from that era where it was like go to school, make good grades, and figure the rest out when you finish high school. And most people went to
Mhm.
college. So that was the path that I was on. I struggled my whole entire life in school. I found out as an adult in my 20s that I'm dyslexic. And so school was super hard for me. And I always thought I was stupid. I really did. I thought I
Mhm.
was dumb. But I had this natural ability to manipulate things with my hand
Mhm.
and colors. And I was obsessed with hair and makeup in high school, wanting to help people feel pretty to go to dates and prom and beauty pageants, things like that.
Mhm.
Um, but I went to college. Nobody said, hey, follow your dreams. I was not taught to follow my dreams. I was taught to work hard. And so, long story short, my mother died when I was 19. She died of lung cancer and brain cancer. I
Wow.
was fortunate to watch her as a social worker teach women how to, have chills saying this.
Oh.
She taught women how to find a career after their husbands left them or passed away. She was a social worker and she counseled women that were called displaced homemakers. And when she was dying, she was so young. I just remember thinking, oh my God, I don't want to die not living my life, having
Mhm.
enjoyed what I was doing. And I was at that pivotal point in my life where I knew that I was going to have to work. I wasn't born a princess or a queen, and I didn't win the lottery. In fact, we didn't have the lottery back then. So I knew I was going to have to work, and I didn't want to be supported by another person. So
Right.
I knew I had to work hard, and I was like, I don't want to be a school teacher. I'm in college to be a school teacher, and that's not a passion of mine. Now, it's
Mhm.
ironic because I do teach people every day in my salon how to have a career, and I teach hair and I teach makeup, but I'm teaching what I love.
Right.
And so, yeah, I just recognized that I needed to stop immediately. I literally just never went back to college. And I called my grandmother and my grandfather, who were, became instantly parents to me. And I said, guys, I'm dropping out of college. And my grandfather did something pretty miraculous. He just said, what is it that you want to do? And he listened. And I said, I
Wow.
want to do hair. And he said, well, let's go talk to Harold the barber. And Harold was his barber. And we went and talked to Harold the barber. And he said, go to barber school and you'll learn how to do hair. And I went to barber school and I walked in the doors. I was 19 years old. And there was not, an Oprah's aha moments weren't being told yet. She was just kind of starting her career too. But I had this aha moment and I literally felt like the angels were there. I knew right then and there I was in the right place. And from that moment, I recognized, well, I have chills again. I will always be true to who I am in this path, and I will work my hardest and I will give back. I felt very much a spiritual calling. And when I say spiritual, from my heart. And
Mhm.
so I knew, you know, this felt right and let's go and let's see what we can do. And so it was a serious, serious connection for me. I never looked back.
And that and I love that. And of course I can definitely relate,
Mhm.
just that feeling of this is the right place at the
Mhm.
right time. This is
Mhm.
where, I'm meant to be. And I think that for, you know, women who, want to become entrepreneurs, but don't really,
Mhm.
again, and I kudos to you, when you say, I left school and I went and did the thing. And so many female entrepreneurs that want to be are kind of told that same, I don't want to say lie, but it's a lie, this untruth that you have to follow a certain path to be
Right. Right.
successful when, anybody that's heard, any of my talks in particular is like, if you want to be successful, you have to be your authentic self and you have to be aligned with the gift that God has given you because
Correct.
that's different for everybody. And, I did graduate. I am technically a college graduate. I was like one of the, what do you call it, the OGs of online learning back in 1999 is when I got my
That's
online
awesome.
degree. But
That is
honestly,
actually
it was
awesome.
funny. That's when you had to mail the stuff in, the test
Yeah.
and everything. You had to mail it. There was no it was, they call it it was distance learning. But it was in fitness and nutrition. And I just had my
Cool.
first daughter and I put on weight and I learned better if I apply things to my life. And I honestly signed up because I said, well, if I sign up for this course, I'll do it and then I'll be more successful. So the degree or diploma was just kind of a bonus. I laugh because, but it was still an area that I love, and it's still, wellness is still an area that I coach in. But it's always come back to what you love
Mm-hmm.
and desire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so for anyone who is aspiring or is an entrepreneur and they're still not quite sure, I think, you said it best. You knew, you
Mm-hmm.
felt
Right.
that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And if that's, whether
Yeah.
that's for yourself or for someone else, I think that's the first assessment
Mm-hmm.
is knowing what it is you love. And I just can't say enough about how you just took it and, like you said, never looked
Yeah.
back.
Ralph Ann, there are three things that are just so, to me, what sum up what it takes for anybody to follow their dreams and to be successful in entrepreneurship. The first, and you just said it, is to live authentically. Every day, be authentic to yourself first.
Hmm.
If you're being authentic to yourself, well, then you're going to be true and authentic to others. And the second is work hard. And it's not going to be easy, but just work
Hmm.
hard. Be faithful in that and know that it takes work to succeed, no matter what you do. That
Right,
there's just no like, it's not going to just happen. It's going to
right.
happen if you're working hard, but it's not going to
Hmm.
happen unless you're willing to work hard. And, and if you're being authentic, then you're going to yourself while working hard, then you're going to meet those challenges because you're going to be aware. You're aware of that.
Hmm.
But then the third thing is to give back.
Hmm.
So if you're giving back to others what you're doing, you're going to grow. It's like sharing your dreams and your ideas and bringing people with you. The pay it forward. So
Right.
in my company, very early on, well, before I opened Avalon, I worked at a wonderful hair salon in Shreveport. It was actually in Bossier, a little town outside of Shreveport. And the hairstylists were all fantastic, but what wasn't happening was sharing of knowledge and
Hmm.
growing each other. And people were showing up and they were just rock stars. I mean, they were just rocking out for themselves.
Wow.
They weren't coming together. And so my whole goal when I opened Avalon was to show up and do beautiful things, provide for myself a beautiful career, but I wanted to bring people with me so I could have a team and we could grow each other. It
Hmm.
wasn't about growing just Grace Ann or
Right.
growing Avalon. It was about growing a team that we could grow together. And I think that's what has been pretty amazing with my company is this constant growth and it's not always a perfect situation. There are times where it's hard, and
Mhm.
and if other people aren't being authentic, man, it can be really tough. I've learned a lot of lessons, but you know, recognizing that we didn't have to be individual rock stars, that we could all together be a rock star together. We
Right.
could build each other up. We could grow systems and we could grow teams. And if one stylist was pretty powerful with makeup, but another one was powerful with event hair and updos, and especially in bridal hair, where we could partner them together. And if there was somebody that was super great with braids and, you know, texture hair, well, let's bring in this person and help grow
Mm.
the team here. And if there's somebody back there that's just great at doing blondes and corrective color, let's get them on board and grow. And so we could take and work together. And it's a pretty amazing thing when you come authentically, you're willing to work hard, and you're willing to share and grow others. It's pretty powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
So those are my three.
I'm a huge fan of collaboration. You know that.
Yes.
And I love that. Those
That was
3
our
tips.
first conversation. That was
Yep.
our first conversation, was about collaboration.
I love that. That is, key. And like I said, since I'm approaching, the exit strategy of my in-person
Mhm.
services, that's what's going to keep, for one, me in the business, because
Mhm.
obviously 30 years in the beauty and wellness industry, you do not leave. I would never abandon my esthetician
Right,
license for nothing in this world.
right, right. It's a wonderful thing to have.
I
Yeah,
don't care what I do. I'm like, I'll be an old woman, like, just still renewing my esthetician license. It's just something you don't get rid of. But yeah, just teaching, like you said, sharing. I love that. Just that's where I'm at right now in my career as well. Just wanting to
yeah.
teach and collaborate and again, being able to reconnect with you and some of the other ladies from our
Mhm. Mhm.
conference retreat in New York last year.
Mhm.
I feel like that's part of it. I feel like, meeting up that for those few days.
Mhm.
And then, the light bulb went off, because so many of us felt the same way. It was such an amazing experience. I met such cool people, and you and a few of the other ladies just really have stuck with me,
Mhm.
sincerely just stuck. And I feel like, I need to reconnect. We need to reconnect. And I don't know why that's always so last minute sometimes, but I'm like, this is how we kind of keep that little torch that we started last year. I
Yeah.
think how we keep it going.
And I absolutely, I loved being around all these other women that were successful and striving for more success, greater success,
Mhm.
and they wanted to level up, and they were not ashamed to say, I want more. How do we do this? Sharing knowledge. Um, that was really powerful for me. I am at a pivotal point in my life of
Mhm.
trying to step back and allow others to grow.
Mhm.
And and so for me, I was searching to find other women that were doing the right things, building careers, and how do you um, our, our 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 careers don't have to just be like one thing.
Right.
And that's what I was searching for. I was like, okay, how do I step out from behind the chair and do other things
Mhm.
pertaining to who I am authentically, and still grow? And so it was really powerful. And so um, I think that's something that women are not taught consistently. And you're starting to now, I mean, it's 2022, we're starting to really see growth in with women in industry and entrepreneurship. But, you know, women are not taught to support other women.
Mm.
You see
Mhm.
men all the time, especially in sports. Thank God we have some awesome women basketball players and soccer players who are starting to own who they are, and they're showing it, and they're like, ladies, this is how you support each other.
Right.
But we've seen that with men in sports for years. It's like, building each other up and high fiving and, and these
Mm-hmm.
women typically, haven't done that for each other. And
Right.
so I love that there is a movement out there of women empowerment. And, I loved growing and or meeting women that were growing and growing each other, at the retreat, the conference with women. And so it was pretty powerful. And, you know, right now I am taking time consistently for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking time to grow. Like right now, I'm speaking to you while I'm in Alabama. I have a condo and another home. And so I have another business here with my rental. And, taking time for myself to enjoy life and
Mm-hmm.
to learn other aspects to grow myself and grow others.
I think it's awesome.
Mhm.
I'm very happy for you. And I'm very happy that we got to make this connection. And I always laugh. I said, okay, my 15 minutes of fame is sometimes 20-ish minutes of fame. But it's the quickest. It was like recess in elementary school. I'm like, man, it's like the fastest part of the day.
Yeah.
It has been, wonderful. And we're definitely going to keep in touch. Definitely want to,
Yeah.
keep everybody in the loop of what's going on because, this property management and, real estate business, we definitely have to get back on so we can
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah. We could
That's
do
like,
15 minutes of more fame.
I know we need another 15 minutes for that. But anyway, Grace Ann, it has been my pleasure. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming on and chatting with us and just giving, some inspiration and some insight into your journey to becoming an entrepreneur. I thank you. Can't thank you enough. But thanks for joining me. And I
Thank you,
hope you
Ralphie.
hope you had fun.
I
All
did.
right. Thank you, everyone. And again, here's to you becoming the best version of you. Thank you for joining.